In the desert, a group of Bin Laden hunters unloads dangerous military equipments from their truck and sets out on the hunt. One of them searches under rocks and discovers a hole. He calls the others over, and they pour gas into the hole. After the gas dissipates, one hunter looks inside, but a big spider attacks him and enters his body. Instead of helping him, the others start catching spiders and putting them in a box. One of the hunters grabs a machete to cut off the infected hunter's head. Meanwhile, Caleb, a young street hustler, is checking out products to buy from the black market. He asks Ollie to show him the good stuff so he can make a purchase, but Ollie refuses, knowing that Caleb resells the items from his shop. Caleb persists, so Ollie takes him to the storage room. Caleb looks around and spots a spider. He bargains with Ollie, who sells it to him for £80, and Caleb takes the spider home. Upon entering his apartment building, Caleb helps a janitor take out the garbage. Both are startled by a firecracker prank. When the bullies attempt to flee, Caleb grabs one of them and pins him to the ground. He then confiscates the bully's backpack, which contains various types of fireworks. The bully requests it back, but Caleb refuses and tells him to leave. Afterward, Caleb heads to the storage room where he keeps shoes for his business. Noticing a shoe box in bad shape, he asks Matthias to replace it with a new one. Back in his apartment, which he shares with his sister Manon, he hears noise coming from one of the rooms. He goes to tell his sister to stop and not mess with their mom's things because they are valuable to him. Manon keeps making noise. Frustrated, Caleb slams the door, and they both gesture angrily at each other. Caleb retreats to his room, where he discovers the lights are off. His room is filled with various insects, collecting rare species is his hobby. Deciding to provide a cozy spot for the spider, he places it inside a shoebox. Later, Caleb confronts his sister about turning off the lights, explaining the harm it could cause to his insects. During their argument, she suggests selling the apartment so she can start her new business with the money. Caleb refuses, insisting that their mom's memories are too important to him. Following this, he attends a party thrown by their neighbor, Claudia. At the gathering, Caleb interacts with various neighbors from the building and has a good time. When Caleb gets back from the party, he discovers that the spider has escaped by chewing a hole in its shoebox. He searches his room but cannot find it. During his search, he finds a cocoon the spider left behind and puts it in the box to keep it safe. The next morning, Caleb wakes up to see that his sister has invited Jordy, his old best friend from when they were kids, and Jordy's girlfriend Lila to help fix up their apartment. Caleb and Jordy show their long-held anger toward each other in a subtle, mean way. When Jordy leaves, he teases Caleb about his bug hobby in front of his sister. Caleb delivers a pair of shoes to Tamani, who had been eagerly awaiting them. While Caleb is dropping them off, Gillis catches him and accuses him of selling drugs. Caleb explains that he's only selling shoes, but Gillis mocks him, saying he should be more like his hard-working sister. Gillis then accuses Tamani of buying drugs, but Tamani tells him to leave him alone and goes back to his apartment. Back in his apartment, Tamani tries on the shoes and gets bitten by something. When he takes a closer look, a big spider crawls out, and he kills it with his shoe. As he examines the situation again, a swarm of baby spiders crawls over his body. His dog eats the dead spider for some reason. Meanwhile, Caleb's friends take a tour of his room and discuss the insects he is protecting. When he enters, they advise him to abandon this hobby and move on with his life. During the conversation, he receives calls from Tamani, but he ignores them. In Tamani's room, he is suffering and in a lot of pain and agony. Outside, neighbors mention the constant barking coming from Tamani's room. Gillis breaks down the door and finds Tamani dead from a grotesque mutation. The authorities are called, and neighbors ask the officer about Tamani's condition. The officer tries to reassure them that everything is under control, but Gillis accuses Caleb of giving drugs to Tamani, sparking a fight between them. The officer steps in and tells everyone not to leave while they figure out what happened. The authorities quarantine the whole area. Caleb, Manon, and the others are now stuck inside the apartment. They talk about what could have happened to Tamani, with Jordy sharing what he knows from seeing addicts in the hospital, suggesting it's probably not related to drugs. Downstairs, the janitor spots something odd in the ceiling and goes to get bug spray. She sprays the wall to kill the bugs. Meanwhile, Lila is in the bathroom when she sees a big spider crawling on her. She screams for help. Jordy rushes in and grabs a glass to catch the spider, but he freaks out when it moves, making him unable to catch it. Caleb and Matthias show up, and Caleb tells Jordy not to kill it. But despite Caleb's warning, Jordy squashes the spider under his foot. When he lifts the blanket, tiny spiders scatter into the bathroom. Suddenly, many spiders come out of the sink, so they seal the door completely. After sealing the door, everyone urges Caleb to tell the truth. He confesses that he bought a spider for his collection but doesn't understand how one spider could cause such a huge infestation. In the room, they discuss how the spiders multiplied so fast, and Jordy notices a frame with a cocoon. He asks Caleb about it, and Caleb explains there was a cocoon in it, which he put in the box. When Jordy opens the box, he sees an entire swarm of spiders inside and hastily closes it with tape. Downstairs, the janitor spots a spider on the floor and notices officers closing all the doors for quarantine. When she looks toward the ceiling, it's completely covered with spider webs. She checks the air duct and finds a swarm of spiders. She sprays the air duct with bug spray to kill them, but as she looks again, she gets attacked by a spider, which kills her instantly. Manon suggests escaping the building, sparking another argument with Caleb, who accuses her again of being selfish. The friends agree to give Caleb and Matthias 15 minutes to warn other neighbors before fleeing together. Meanwhile, Musa is in his room doing a body workout. Suddenly, he sees a big spider and takes off his slippers to kill it. After checking his bed, he spots the spider on the wall and kicks it, but it makes a big hole in the wall. When he looks inside, the wall is swarming with spiders, and he gets attacked by them, resulting in his death. As Caleb and Matthias go to warn everyone, spiders kill Mrs. Zhao, Claudia, Mr. Benzawi, and Maggie. When an old man comes seeking help, they have to turn him away because he becomes infected. Back in the room, Jordy and the others find the dog dead, with spiders crawling out of its belly. As they plan to escape the building, Gillis forcefully stops Caleb and the others with a tire iron, blocking their way. He then barges into Caleb's room looking for drugs, but accidentally releases a box of spiders that swarm him. Caleb, Matthias, Manon, Jordy, and Lila use the opportunity to escape, only to find the halls and stairs blocked by spiderwebs. Manon stays behind to operate the switch while the others cross the infested passageway. However, when Manon crosses, the lights go out, and she's trapped. Lighting a lighter, she rushes through. When they try to open the exit door, the police stop them, using fireworks to scare them and then releasing gas to trap them inside. They run for air, but Jordy gets separated. Caleb tries to rescue him but sees him ensnared in webs, with spiders crawling all over him. He stops Lila from going in, and they all seek shelter in a room. The spiders slowly kill Jordy, whose painful screams can be heard by his friends, making them sad for not being able to do anything. Matthias uses fireworks to locate the spider's nest, and they all use a flare to navigate their escape. When the flare dims, Caleb pulls out a spirit bomb from the bag and tosses it toward the spiders. The spiders swarm toward them, forcing them to flee. They keep a light on all the way to Gillis' apartment. In a quiet moment, Lila asks Caleb about his broken friendship with Jordy. Caleb admits that their childhood dream of opening a zoo together ended over an incident where a pet bit Jordy badly. Surprisingly, Lila reveals they came to make amends with Caleb, not to help with renovations. As cops raid the room, they inquire if anyone's been bitten. A cop points his gun toward Caleb when he comes closer. When he refuses to go back, Caleb gets punched, prompting him to fight the cop. Lila and the others join in to protect Caleb, resulting in a chaotic fight. When one cop chokes Matthias, Caleb grabs the gun and shoots the cop dead. Eventually, armed officers capture the four friends and confine them in the parking garage. An officer comes to explain the situation, and Caleb confronts him for locking them in, holding him responsible for the lives lost. In regret, he leaves them alone. Matthias confides to Caleb that he has been bitten by the spiders and plans to create a diversion so they can escape. Determined, Matthias gets up and makes a run towards the exit, drawing the attention of all the armed men. As they focus on him, swarms of spiders suddenly pour into the garage, causing the cops to panic and fire at the oncoming threat. Caleb and Lila seize the opportunity to escape while the cops battle the spiders. Caleb frees himself and sees a cop getting bitten by a spider very badly. When Caleb notices his sister is not with them, he runs to rescue her but takes a bullet in his leg during a chaotic firefight. They both find refuge in a van, where Caleb and Manon reconcile and forgive each other. As the spiders close in, Lila uses the car lights to assist them. Together, Caleb and Manon muster the courage to run toward the car. As Lila drives towards the exit, a massive spider blocks their path. Knowing they can't get past it, Caleb makes a brave decision. He steps out of the car, willing to sacrifice himself so that Manon and Lila can escape. But to his surprise, the female spider he saved earlier refuses to harm him and crawls away. After surviving a standoff with an enormous spider, he opens the garage door, allowing them to escape. Later, Manon and Lila watch from a distance as the apartment building is demolished. Meanwhile, Caleb mourns Jordy by burying a keepsake photo of them from childhood. Afterward, he notices a spider crawling on his back. Gently, he grabs it and releases the spider into nature, and with that, the story ends. If you enjoy this wild tale of nighttime antics, give it a thumbs up, hit that share button to spread the horror, drop a comment with your favorite part, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more adventures straight out of the imagination.